Officials tonight, A.J. Desai, Les Jones, Kellen Milner, and we are underway with Central Arkansas from Conway, Arkansas, the Bears, who have it first. Active hands and a turnover. Kyan Evans, the point guard for UNC, coming over from Colorado State, where he helped the Rams to a Mountain West Conference championship. Wilson swings it into the corner. Trimble the baseline drive, and the follow by Henry Vesar. There's the size, the Arizona transfer.
We have seen Hubert Davis use Caleb Wilson a lot in that mid-post. Back to the basket, and he shows you the skill set. The cross-court pass that led to the shot, and then the follow-up, the offensive board by Vesar.
That's the Princeton offense. It's high-low. Marable, the 5, with the assist to Cole McCormick.
They run their stuff, Central Arkansas, they're Princeton, with really good pace.
Entry pass, and Wilson with his first 2 points as a Tar Heel with a couple of exclamation points.
Some old school Carolina basketball right there. A little high-low, very nice delivery by Vesar, and then the length right in front of that rim by Wilson. You know, that size for Carolina going to be an issue for Central Arkansas.
Here is Rashad Bolden, too strong. He was one of the top scorers in Division II last year. Jaron Stevenson, the Alabama transfer, in and out. A 6'10" wing who can really shoot it from 3.
And those wings are running right to the corners. They are sprinting to the corners, and Stevenson is outstanding, finding that spot, catching and shooting.
Bolden offline, the rebound by Vesar. Evans, another guy who can shoot at the lob instead for Caleb Wilson.
Wilson is so good at changing ends of the floor, and part of it is he's hungry to score. And when those guards throw it to him, he knows he's going to get it. It's more of a motivating carrot. What a find by Evans. That's a Tar Heel team this year that wants to run.
McCormick lines up the 3. A young man who originally signed with John Shulman, the Central Arkansas head coach, when Shulman was at D2 Alabama, Huntsville. Caleb Wilson is feasting above the rim.
And he's just in that dunker spot, and I don't know who's guarding him. I mean, nobody has put a body on him. He is running free to the rim.
And we get an early foul.
I mean, he's just camping underneath. He is sprinting the head of the field. A really good find with his head up by Evans there. And then just, you know, in that dunker spot, nobody, the weak side defender there, that guard not dropping down to get in front of Wilson.
The foul was on Kyan Evans, who lays it in at the other end. This is how North Carolina wants to play. Granted, you know who the opponent is. You've got a talent advantage, but this is what they want to get back to.
It is. If you're Central Arkansas, one thing you can do, though, you can control is taking care of the basketball. You know, the 2 turnovers, the one to start the game and then the run out there, I mean, these are not really forced. A little bit of nerves, I think, playing in this building. Watched them come in for practice yesterday. They were taking all the videos. I mean, it's such a moment for a school like Central Arkansas to come here and play and be in this building.
When I talked to their head coach, John Shulman, last week, he said, listen, part of playing here is that experience. These players, he said, will be able to tell their grandkids they played at the Dean Dome. 3, no good, batted around, but we get a foul underneath on Central Arkansas.
You know, we've heard a lot, Anish, all offseason about the size that North Carolina has added.
Yeah.
I mean, they're starting 6'10", 6'10", 7 feet on their front line. The question is, how does size manifest? Looks good on paper, but these guys they've added, I mean, they are not in the mold of Bacot or Hansborough. They're not the physical enforcers those guys are.
Vesar, the offensive rebound. Wilson, another stuff. That's 4 dunks. That's how you inflate the old shooting percentage. That one doesn't go. And the rebound at Europe. There was a clearance issue. He was cleared by the NCAA, but not by North Carolina until 30 minutes before tip-off. He didn't play in either of the two exhibition games. 22 years old. Played in the well-respected Adriatic League, where he averaged almost 15 a game and shot 40% from three.
Well, he's coming off his best season as a pro. He was their second leading scorer.
Say that again, as a pro.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that's where we are now, man. But the fact of the matter is he had a great year last year, and it was a great get late for Hubert Davis, and he's going to give him a real weapon on the perimeter.
Javion Guy King knocks down the shot. He's back at Central Arkansas after sitting out last year due to an NCAA rules infraction. There's Bogovac. It's poked away by Guy King. In terms of first impressions and opening statements, Caleb Wilson gave UNC a call me Ishmael.
And so you could already tell early in this game, you go back to that BYU exhibition game, they had 18 offensive rebounds. They're already mashing the offensive glass here. That size is having an impact.
That's been a hallmark of the great UNC teams. The three from Evans, 45% from beyond the arc last year.
And that's what he does best. You know, he has not been his best so far in these first two exhibition games. And I think part of it is he's thinking a little bit too much. You know, you get these guys who come in, Akian Evans, he's making a lot of money. He's, you know, being at North Carolina is a lot different than being at Colorado State. There are inherent pressures that I think he's feeling in the first couple games. Just got to settle down, play more instinctively.
And if there's a question as to whether he is a true point guard, Hubert Davis said, listen, I view the point guard position holistically. Bogovac down the lane, and he's got his first two as a Tar Heel.
Well, there has not been a lot of resistance from the Central Arkansas defense. I mean, that's just a straight line drive, untouched.
Now a turnover. Ahead to Trimble, look out. And a timeout by John Shulman. UNC dominating the paint, getting runouts in transition.
Making his appearance here, first official appearance.
Seeing better than anybody. Guy King for three. Back iron. Offensive rebound, put back no. And the second try is there by Chris Mason. He's built like a tight end.
Nice job staying with the play by Mason.
Mason with the block at the other end on Bogovac. Cameron Hunter, one in black. Former Ace-Sun freshman of the year. Had a couple of really nice seasons with Central Arkansas. Then had an injury. Then last year transferred to Wisconsin and learned a lesson that unfortunately a lot of guys learn. The grass isn't always greener. Didn't play a whole lot, only scored 3 points all season, but decided to come back to Central Arkansas. He is an Arkansas native.
As Hubert has said all offseason, he calls it the #1 determining factor in winning games. And so I think the ability to dominate the glass, to extend possessions with the offensive glass, I think has become a big thing in a 40-minute game.
And for years, North Carolina would be amongst the best rebounding teams in the country. McCormick way off.
And there's multiple ways of doing it. I mean, like North Carolina in ball screens, they're going to switch, or in any screen, they're going to switch 1 through 4. They've had Vesar in drop coverage, shown some different looks with him. Houston, one of those teams in the Final Four, plays two bigs. They're very aggressive. So there's a lot of different ways of doing it. I think with Carolina's size, they have the versatility, particularly with Caleb Wilson at that 4 position.
A little bit of a press here by Central Arkansas. Starters back in for UNC. Akian Evans helped Colorado State to the NCAA tournament last year. Trimble drops it off. Now Vesar, the 7-foot Estonian, gets the friendly roll.
It's good poise. Caught it in traffic, caught it amongst 2 bodies, kept his feet, and he can finish with both hands in there. Very skilled.
12-0 run for UNC. Moore's pass deflected. Wilson got a hand on it. Moore Probably an ill-advised shot with 15 on the shot. And a foul. 33-13. Carolina in control.
He is as good as it gets in the coaching profession. He's got a heart of gold. You know, he was saying he had never been to the state of Arkansas before he interviewed for the job. And it was a challenge. I mean, Central Arkansas has not had a winning season, or they've had one in 18 years. And that one year they went 18-17. So outside of having Scottie Pippen as an alum, like, it's not a program with great winning tradition. He took up the challenge, and he's a great guy to do it. And he's just a coach's coach.
He had success at Chattanooga, where he took the Mocs to 2 NCAA tournaments. Had a great run at Division II Alabama Huntsville before coming to Central Arkansas. See the versatility of Wilson, who can guard almost any position on the floor. Trimble open. Back iron, offensive rebound, Wilson. Now Bogovac. Wilson's got a mismatch. Shot clock at 3. And Trimble fouled on the drive by Burns. Following our game, opening night continues. South Carolina State goes to Louisville. 11th ranked Cards and Ryan Conwell coming your way after we're done in Chapel Hill. I know the ACC's taken its lumps the last few years. There's a lot of optimism for good reason this year.
Yeah, I think there should be. You know, Louisville is an interesting case this year. They had a really great year last year in year one of Pat Kelsey. You know, it's interesting, in their 2 exhibition games, they did not shoot the 3 well, and they were a volume 3-point shooting team. They got that in the portal. That's who Pat Kelsey has always been. They did not shoot it well in that Kansas exhibition and lost. They made 23 threes. I mean, devastating number of threes in the second exhibition against Bucknell. Their backcourt made 18 of the 23 threes. So there's a volatility there that concerns you, and they're not close to being the defensive team that they were last year yet.
Pick near the top of the ACC. Duke, the preseason favorite. Bogovac tries to keep it in bounds. And was knocked out of bounds by Robinson. We'll take another look.
You know, North Carolina's done a nice job in their defense today. You know, they have been prepared for the Princeton. They've been prepared for the back doors. They've been really hard on the basketball. They've gotten into the ball, and they've been in denial.
15-0 run for UNC. Zayden high. Kicks it back out, and the 3 good by Kyan Evans. He's got 9, his second 3.
Nice relocation by Evans, finding that line, and a good pass by High, who played much better in their second exhibition game.
Hunter's 3, not there. He's still looking for his first points. High thought about it, puts it on the floor, turns it over. Zayden High back after a 1-year suspension, former top 100 recruit. Mason on the baseline. That's going to play at the Y 20 years from now, too.
Sure is.
We step aside with Carolina up 39-15.
The thing is consistent effort. When he wants to play, he can play hard, and he competes, and he gets after it. But there are times where he will take plays off. He'll jog back. Defensively, he'll stand up. It's easy when you're matched up one-on-one with A.J. Dybantsa to want to get into that dude and to play hard. But that's the thing where if Caleb Wilson, you know, finds that playing every play, that motor, that consistent motor, obviously his ceiling is already really, really high.
That was the marquee in that BYU exhibition game out in Salt Lake City, and Dybantsa, the #1 player coming out of high school. Wilson the number 5 player, and Caleb more than held his own. 22 points, 10 rebounds. Robinson over Wilson, who may have gotten a piece. Ogavac almost lost it. Wilson on the baseline, and the hammer. He's got 10 points on 5 dunks.
You're going to shoot a high percentage if you're dunking everything.
Rashad Bolden on his 4th school. 24 a game at Mississippi College, a D2 school last year. That's his first field goal. He was 0 for 4 prior. Wilson against
Bigs playing together in tandem.
Ogavac's no good. James Brown into the game for North Carolina. He and Zayden High, they're looking for those guys to be their depth on the front line as Marable has the easy flush.
Marable, only a freshman. Game 1, welcome to Chapel Hill. One of the things for John Shulman, all 3 of his bigs are really young, and they have such a responsibility in that offense.
He said Marable, especially as a 5, is
just a multi-dimensional talent.
A McDonald's All-American, a 5-star. The number 5 player in the ESPN 100. And that's to your point. He checks off a lot of what Hubert Davis wanted in the offseason. He gives you size. He gives you positional versatility. Gives you rebounding, especially on the offensive end. We were talking before the game. 2019 is the last time the Tar Heels had a lottery pick. Now that's going to change.
It sure is.
That was Kobe White and Cam Johnson. It's not a long period of time for a lot of programs. For this one it is. You look up in the rafters, it's basically a who's who of college basketball. Dixon picks up his 2nd foul. That's another freshman they have who they have a chance to bring along slowly, but when you watch the BYU game, he seems to potentially be a guy who can run some point for you at North Carolina this season.
He's a true point guard, and I think that's a position that they're still in discovery phase. You know, they lost over 350 assists in R.J. Davis and Elliot Cadeau. So, like, who's setting the table? Who's initiating your offense in the half court? And the thing you love about Dixon is he's got positional size defensively. And that's the one area with Kyan Evans. I think he's going to get picked on early. I think teams are going to go after Evans to test him.
Javian Guy King picks up his 3rd foul. You mentioned Dixon's size. 6'5", 200 as a freshman from Vienna, Virginia. Played his high school ball at Gonzaga College in Washington, D.C.
And you don't lose shooting with him on the floor. He made 83s last year during his high school season at Gonzaga.
Powell can shoot it from the outside. Dixon passes. 5 to shoot. Ogavac launches. In and out. Luke Moore, the true freshman. And stays with the Bears.
You just can't simulate in your practice if you're Central Arkansas this length and size that North Carolina has. You get into that paint and you're just not used to seeing that length.
Central Arkansas out of the Atlantic Sun. Last season was John Shulman's first at the helm. Team plagued by injuries. McCormick with an easy 2.
Really nicely done.
That pass knocked away by Moore. And we get a foul. It's going to be on Wilson, his 2nd.
That's the other area of concern for North Carolina, turnovers. You know, they had 19 in that game against BYU. And a lot of them careless. You know, there are basketball turnovers where you're being aggressive, or somebody doesn't catch the ball, or there's a bad.
Jordan, 2 points of the game for Cameron Hunter. A couple of years ago, averaged 17 a game for this team.
Yeah, he's their best player, their best leader. It was a rough first half, I think, adjusting to this building and certainly the size of North Carolina.
John Shulman calls him our Jalen Brunson. Vessar, that's too easy for the 7-foot Arizona transfer.
Another big-to-big pass, high-low pass coming from Wilson over the top. And as you said, just too big.
Robinson over Vessar, grazes the front rim. Here comes Evans. Now Trimble, nice move to split the D.
You got to know they're coming. I mean, Central Arkansas has been caught a little bit off guard by Carolina's speed in the open floor.
Wild shot, Marable grabs the offensive rebound.
I mean, they are running. Long rebound, turnovers. They are out, and a good look ahead. And how athletic and dynamic is Seth Trimble in transition? I mean, he's so good attacking the basket. Can struggle at times to finish. Had a layup at the end of that BYU game that he missed, but so dynamic in the open floor.
Carolina gets it. Marable was called for the foul. Wilson goes down hard. Pops up right away. We get another foul. It's on McCormick. It's going to be his third. Central Arkansas committed 13 team fouls in the opening half.
Love to see Jaron Stevenson show something here in his second half. Didn't hear much from him in the first.
Vessar again with a good look. Marable, the freshman in the high post. Hunter's three, short. McCormick, the offensive rebound. And knocked out of bounds. Last touch, Central Arkansas. There's Stevenson, gives it up. Trimble tied up, another foul on Central Arkansas. Already the third team foul in the second half.
Carolina's done a nice job in the early part of this season, letting the ball see both sides. Dribble handoffs, movement, some continuity, wing ball screening. It's very much an offense that's going to be the sum of the parts. They don't have that isolation guy.
McCormick to the bench. He picked up his fourth.
Vessar on the high-low.
Setting the screen. He's got a size advantage. Shot clock at 5. They lob it down low. One more. There's Stevenson. That's what they want to see a little more of from Stevenson. He's a 6'10" guy who can shoot it. They want to see some rebounding and some points in the paint. Pull-up is not there by Bolden. The lob to Wilson. Almost had dunk number 6.
He is running to the front of the rim, hungry to score, and then he almost ended a life. I mean, my goodness.
What do the kids say? Catch a body? Foul is on Applegate, his first. You look at a kid like this, and again, true freshman. What do you think the ultimate ceiling could be for a Caleb Wilson?
It's hard to even know at this point. I mean, again, he's already a dude who does effort-based things. He's clearly been coached to do that. I think his processing, his feel for the game will come. And just like that play there, like you could fall in love with your ability to shoot it.
Look out.
And you know, players of that level, man, they got a lot of people in their ears, a lot of people talking to them. And as the year progresses, Caleb Wilson has to understand that he is at his best attacking the paint and attacking the basket. His ability to prove that face-up shot will come.
He's guarding the inbounds with a 7-foot wingspan. Hunter, spin move. Hunter with the three. John Shulman said when he got to Central Arkansas, his first phone call was to Cameron Hunter. Hunter decided to leave and go to Wisconsin, but Shulman told him, hey, listen, you're a Central Arkansas guy. As Wilson knocks down his first field goal that is not a dunk.
Ends up being a three. You were asking about his ceiling?
If he starts doing that, right, stratosphere, what's above the stratosphere?
I believe we have, what is that, Apollo 51? What's out there taking those beautiful pictures out there in outer space?
Is the Hubble telescope still a thing?
We're out of our depth. Terms.
After the whole Last Dance airings, they seem to have a falling out. Held ball. There's the defense by Wilson. Possession arrow UNC.
He is showing you the full kit bag tonight. The full arsenal from Caleb Wilson. Just an incredibly talented freshman class overall, but certainly in this league.
We'll get to see Michael Brown tonight, Louisville, South Carolina State, following our game. No good by Evans. Taken away by Bolden. Wilson's now switched on 3 players just on this one possession. Bolden gets the bounce.
Well, when you can switch 1 through 4, that's the other thing that neutralizes a lot of this Princeton stuff. As long as you stay under these cuts.
Wilson draws yet another foul. What is that dunk, number 7? 6?
Yeah, look, he's super talented. We've made the point. He has also not been challenged here tonight. I mean, Central Arkansas, nobody gets in front of him. I mean, nobody has hardly touched him here tonight.
It's his 6th dunk. He's 7 for 8 from the field. 18 points, a game high. Moore, offline for 3. Knocked out of bounds to North Carolina.
And Carolina's done a nice job under out of bounds. That cut by Vesar, you know, attracts the defense attention, and nobody steps in front of Wilson. Again, wide open.
When you're a freshman and you set foot on campus, you know how you don't take the 500 course right away? You ease into it a few one-on-ones.
Oh, your point is that the competition tonight.
Caleb Wilson's got a 101, 102. Now he'll get the higher level classes. They're coming.
Well, and he played really well against BYU.
He did.
And so did Carolina. I mean, to go on the road, Have 19 turnovers and only lose by 2.
How about Zayden High?
They need a backup to Vesar. I think that's the other question mark. You know, is it James Brown? Is it Zayden High? You know, he's got a good energy about him. He's pretty skilled. He's certainly more skilled than James Brown.
Zayden High, when he was in high school, watched his height go from 6'1" to 6'10" as Applegate gets 2 for Central Arkansas. Ogavance was held by Hunter. Actually, that was Guy King. That's 4.
Yeah, that's where Vesar, you know, only played about.
With a chance to get to the ACC championship if they take on, they take care of business down the stretch. Free throw no good by Marable. Offensive rebound. Hunter, too much. Last touch, Central Arkansas.
It's not a night that Cam Hunter's going to want to remember. And he's a guy, he oozes with confidence. I mean, he walked into the gym last night for their practice like he owned the place. Dean Smith Center, this is the Cam Hunter Center. And it just has not been his night.
John Shulman says he's the hardest working guy on the team. First guy into the gym. And he says when that's your best player, it's cliche, but there's a trickle-down effect on everybody else on the team.
Well, in this league, Anish, this ASUN gets decimated by the portal. I mean, John Shulman lost. Their best big last year went to Minnesota for $500,000, and he's played 1 minute in 2 exhibition games. Nehemiah Turner. So he took the money, ran to Minnesota, and is not going to play there. I hope it's worth it.
Well, we saw that with Cameron Hunter just a year ago, right? He goes to Wisconsin and, again, got a lot of money to go to Wisconsin. Never saw more than 8 minutes in a game. He only played 11 games, averaged 2 minutes per game. This was a guy who was the team's leading scorer at Central Arkansas a couple of years before that, former ASUN Freshman of the Year. And now listen, the age of the transfer portal now, when guys leave, you can't burn the bridge, because Cameron Hunter came back, and you start to see some of that a little bit. A guy goes somewhere else, you know what? Wrong choice. Grass wasn't greener, and then they come back to the school where they used to play.
Yeah, and look, I'm not besmirching $500,000. I mean, that's life-changing money for most. But when you get old and gray, the things you remember are the relationships, the opportunities to play, the opportunities to be a part of a growing program like John Shulman is building at Central Arkansas. And we know about the portal. What I don't know if people realize is leagues like the Atlantic Center getting killed by the portal.
Vesar with the two-handed slam. And you think about it, right? A lot of these coaches in the smaller leagues, they're doing a lot of grunt work finding 0-star, 1-star guys, under-recruited, lightly recruited. They spend the time to develop those players. And then a year or two in, a big school comes in with a big money offer. And again, when you're talking that kind of money for some guys, as you said, life-changing, you can't fault them. But then you're a smaller program. You're going, wait, we just put all that time and effort into growing you as a basketball player. Now you're leaving us. And now somebody else gets your best years.
You have to get creative. I mean, there's a lot of good players out there. Like Ben McCollum at Drake last year took a lot of guys from his D2 stop prior to Drake. You know, John Shulman telling us yesterday they have a lot of D2 transfers on their roster. He said, look, we don't look down on D2 guys because we are D2 guys. So you got to get creative.
I think the student section was bored because Central Arkansas hasn't shot enough free throws tonight. I'm told that was a promotion. That wasn't the student section. That's on the other end.
If you miss 2 in a row,
that's a free cookie? Okay. Robinson hoists and hits. How many guys like Seth Trimble are still around? 4 years, 1 program. Good defense there by Moore, denying Wilson. Robinson tight ropes the baseline. Applegate has it poked away. Evans with help. 2 guys went up for the alley-oop. Trimble and Wilson, 2 guys who can play above the rim. Intercepted by Applegate. Junior from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The Australian, Truman Byrne.
That was Kyan Evans' first turnover of the night. Got to put that up at the backboard. Vessar will go get it.
Robinson misfires. Trimble, nice looking move. He's now in double figures. 5 Tar Heels with at least 10 points.
You know, if you're Kansas scouting North Carolina, your defensive game plan has to start with halting the momentum of Evans and Trimble in transition. They are so much better and so good at creating in transition in the open floor than they are in the half court yet.
Nice feed, high-low, big-to-big. Wilson to Vessar. You ever watch the movie with Pauly Shore, Brendan Fraser, Encino Man?
Yes, yes.
Encino Man was from Estonia.
Yes, that's right.
Like Vessar.
Good call by you. I did not have a Pauly Shore mention coming up tonight, and that may be Pauly Shore's only good movie.
80-49 with 5.5 to go in the second half.
I'm not hating on it. A good Encino Man reference.
I wonder how Encino Man holds up. Robinson, no good. We get some subs in. Derek Dixon, 4 fouls, the freshman. Top 60 recruit, 3 in white. Chris, Jaden Young is an interesting piece for North Carolina because he was a significant contributor last year for Mike Young in Blacksburg.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who has to stay ready off of that bench because he can shoot. He's another one of those guys they brought in who can shoot. And he's been well coached, to your point about Mike Young. You know, he comes into this program having been well schooled and taught.
Caleb Wilson with a chance to get to 20 points at the free throw line.
That's one of those things, Anish. 11 new guys on your roster, and they have a lot of guys who believe that they can come in and help and contribute. That's where that discovery process, you know, the BYU game, you got the Kansas game, that schedule we showed earlier, they're going to know about themselves by the time you get into ACC play. And I think one of the things Hubert Davis and that staff are looking for is differentiation, separation between guys, so you know as this year unfolds who those guys are in specific moments.
Friday, a game against Kansas, Michigan State later this month, Kentucky early December. Those games reveal a lot about who you are and who can play. The other part of it, though, we were talking about this pregame. So many teams with so many new faces, and you're playing these marquee non-conference games early in the year. the outcomes of those games shape narratives around teams and conferences, and then oftentimes teams improve once league play starts. Uh-oh. 22 points for Wilson. Look out. Here he goes, elevation, but no. Wilson with a big grin on his face. We get a whistle.
What a block there without fouling. And then what a look ahead. And how about that? Sharing the sugar.
A standing ovation for the freshman in his Tar Heel debut. 22